The Brooklyn Nets trading for Jahlil Okafor is the latest example of a franchise devoid of assets, pursuing them in any way possible. Rick Boehmer, Associated Press. Mexico City. When Sean Marks was hired as general manager of the Brooklyn Nets in 2016, he inherited a massive mess. It would be 3 more years before the team would have control of its first-round pick, and its roster largely was devoid of talent. That's why Warriors coach Steve Kerr recently called the situation Marks inherited the worst hand to play with as a GM of anybody in the history of this league, a remark that elicited little to no contradictions. Marks has spent the past 18 months solely focused on accumulating as many assets as he can. That's meant taking on bad contracts to add draft picks. That's meant throwing big money offer sheets to restricted free agents such as Tyler Johnson, Alan Crabb, Donatas Modichunas and Otto Porter. And that's meant making trades such as Thursday's, when Marks sent Trevor Booker and his $9 million expiring contract to the Philadelphia 76ers for Jahlil Okafor, Nick Stauskas and a 2019 second-round pick. It's about having some patience. The need for patience, Marks said here Thursday, before his Nets beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 100-95, in front of a sellout crowd at Mexico City Arena. We're not trying to get this all back in one fell swoop or anything like that. We'll see what opportunities arise over the next year or 18 months, 2 years, 3 years and so forth. That is the same thing we've done over the last 18 months. That means players, picks and everything. For an asset-deprived team, the Okafor trade makes plenty of sense. It's the classic second draft scenario. Find a player who was a high draft pick. Okafor was the 3rd pick in 2015, who has fallen on hard times, and hope a change of scenery leads to a change in performance. Marks made a similar move in June, trading Brook Lopez and his $22.6 million expiring contract and a 2017 first-round pick to the Los Angeles Lakers for D'Angelo Russell, the No. 2 pick in 2015, and Timofey Mozgov. In both instances, Marks was betting on potential and determined it was worth giving up a variety of assets, cap space, players and draft picks to acquire a pair of 21-year-olds who, not long ago, were considered stars in the making. We asked 105 NBA media members to pick this season's MVP so far. There's a clear favorite. That's not to say both came without risk. Russell has played well, 29 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, when healthy, but has been out for 3 weeks after undergoing arthroscopic surgery on his left knee. Mozgov, on the other hand, has done nothing to change the notion that his average of $16 million in salary for this season and the next 2 is the definition of dead money. The Okafor trade comes with far less risk but arguably also far less potential value. He averaged 17.5 points and 7.0 rebounds as a rookie, but a knee injury derailed his season last year, and the emergence of Joel Embiid as a league-changing force relegated Okafor to the scrap heap as Sixers general manager Brian Colangelo openly tried to trade him for months. That's why both Okafor and his agent, longtime NBA power broker Bill Duffy, publicly asked for a release. But part of the difficulty is that Okafor's skill set is a better fit for the NBA of 10 or 20 years ago than today's. In a league where pace and space reigns supreme, a traditional low-post scorer with questionable defensive and rebounding abilities doesn't merit the same value he once did. The same value, however, doesn't equal no value. Acquiring undervalued assets and rehabilitating them into valued ones is an essential part of the Nets' plan. That's where the other important aspect of the path Marks has taken the Nets down comes in. A reliance on his coaching staff, led by coach Kenny Atkinson, to be able to develop the talent he's given. Well, I think in any trade or acquisition, you're essentially going to bet on your staff, Marks said. That's what we'll do. It's easy to see why. Atkinson, a former assistant coach with the Atlanta Hawks, is considered by many to be the league's best development coach. And while the Nets are still short on high-end talent, the improvement of the young players under his watch, most notably Spencer Dinwiddie, who has established himself as a rotation player while filling in for the injured Jeremy Lin and Russell at point guard, give the Nets hope there is light at the end of the tunnel. It looks like a two-horse race for NBA MVP. And 4 other things we learned from our poll. Still, that light seems very far away. The Nets likely still are searching for the cornerstone player of their next contending team. Though Russell has the potential to be that player, Brooklyn still has to suffer through one more draft without its first-round pick, one of the final remnants of the trade for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. The franchise will have limited cap space next summer. Then we'll have to eat into a chunk of what could be considerable space the following year to re-sign Russell, assuming he plays anywhere near the way the franchise hopes he does. But the fact there is a light on it all is a sign that things are headed in the right direction in Brooklyn. And the biggest reason is Marks. We'll take our patience, he said. We're not going to just do every risky scenario that comes along. They'll be the ones that fit our timeline moving forward. It could be the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next 6 years. Who knows? But we'll take that approach and be systematic in how we look at things. This was one of those deals that, for us, in the big picture, this is something that works. Read more. LeVar Ball trolls Trump with gif of him dunking on the president. Hornets coach Steve Clifford takes leave of absence to address health issues. Men arrested in 2010 murder of former NBA player Lorenzen Wright.